Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to discuss one of the most misunderstood components of the MBA and MS application process: how to talk about the weakness. And now, here is what most applicants don't realize. Admission committee are not rejecting candidates because they have weaknesses. They reject candidates because they lack clarity about their weaknesses. Because self awareness is the starting point of leadership. Think about this carefully. Every successful leader you admire has faced moments of doubt, failure, or difficulty. But what separates high potential candidates from average applicants is the ability to reflect, adapt, and evolve. Talking about weaknesses in your MBA essays is like walking a tightrope. Talk too little, and you risk sounding arrogant or superficial. Talk too much, and you risk sounding unfocused or defensive. But there is a powerful balance. And when done correctly, your weakness essay can become one of the most memorable parts of your entire application. And today, I will show you exactly how to achieve that balance. Let us begin by understanding why business schools even ask this question. After all, you're applying to a competitive program. Why would they want to hear about your shortcomings? Because MBA programs are not looking for perfect candidates, they're looking for high growth individuals. The admission committee is evaluating two key traits. First is self awareness. Do you understand your own development areas? Second is resilience. How do you respond when things do not go according to your plan? Because the reality is, your MBA journey will challenge you, your career will challenge you, leadership will challenge you. Schools want candidates who demonstrate the ability to reflect and recalibrate. Understanding your weaknesses shows intellectual honesty, and intellectual honesty builds credibility. Let's look into the 7 point framework. Over the years, at LeapQuest, we have worked with applicants across industries: consulting, technology, finance, healthcare, family business, entrepreneurship. One pattern remains consistent. Applicants who approach weaknesses strategically tend to present more compelling applications. We have therefore developed a 7 point framework, not theoretical advice, but practical guidelines based on real admission outcomes. Because your weakness essay is not about a confession, it is about demonstration. Maturity, awareness, coachability, trajectory. When presented correctly, your weakness can actually strengthen your positioning. You can have a look at the 7 point checklist. Should not take it personally, be original, don't hide your weakness, don't turn a positive into a negative, don't dwell too much, avoid red flags, and take it easy. Before we go deeper, it is important to understand the larger strategic context. Weaknesses are not evaluated in isolation. They are evaluated in relation to your goals, your leadership experiences, your career trajectory. Strong applicants understand that profile building is intentional. Every activity you pursue should reinforce your narrative. They are broadly classified into a high duty, a heavy duty, or a light duty profile enhancement activity. Light duty activities that we recommend signal curiosity and initiative, and the heavy duty activities signal leadership and ownership. For example, writing thought leadership articles demonstrates intellectual engagement. Leading a cross functional initiative demonstrates influence. Launching a venture demonstrates risk appetite. Admission committees evaluate whether your profile signals readiness for your stated goals, because ultimately schools are not just admitting candidates, they're investing in future alumni, and future alumni represent the brand globally. Now let's dig into the 7 point checklist. The first one: don't take it personally. Let us begin with the first principle. Your MBA essay is not your personal diary, and the admission committee is not evaluating your personal life story in isolation. They are evaluating your professional trajectory. And when schools ask about your weaknesses, they are looking for the examples that demonstrate professional growth, learning agility, and adaptability. Avoid discussing deeply personal challenges that do not connect to your career development. For example, a challenge in managing stakeholder expectation at work, difficulty transitioning into a leadership role, initial discomfort with quantitative analysis. These examples show professional evolution. Your weakness should provide context for your growth and not distract from your trajectory. Second rule: be original. Authenticity is one of the most underestimated competitive advantages in MBA applications. Many applicants try to reverse engineer impressive sounding answers. They attempt to predict what admission committee want to hear. But admission officers read thousands of essays every year. Patterns become extremely obvious. Fabricated weakness lack depth. They lack emotional accuracy. They lack specificity. Ordinary experiences often produce extraordinary essays when reflection is thoughtful. Your weakness do not need to sound dramatic. It needs to sound real because credibility is persuasive, authenticity demonstrates confidence, and confidence signals leadership readiness. Rule 3. Don't hide your weakness. Many applicants attempt to strategically avoid acknowledging weaknesses, but this often backfires because avoidance signals defensiveness. Strong candidates demonstrate ownership, they acknowledge the gap, they demonstrate the corrective action. They highlight the measurable improvement. This communicates a growth mindset, and growth mindset is a highly evaluated leadership trait. When you acknowledge your development areas confidently, you signal intellectual maturity, transparency builds trust, trust builds confidence, and confidence strengthens your candidacy. Rule 4. Don't disguise strength as weakness. Let us address one of the most common mistakes. Disguising strengths as weaknesses. Statements like, I'm too hardworking, I care too much, I'm too committed. These responses sound rehearsed. Admission committee prefer clarity over cleverness. A more sophisticated approach involves identifying genuine development areas. For example, difficulty delegating initially, over investing time in polishing details, hesitation in high stakes presentations, difficulty saying no to additional responsibilities. These examples show depth of reflection and they show awareness of trade offs. They show learning agility, and that is far more compelling than generic humility statements. Rule 5. Don't will too much. Your essay should not become a catalog of limitations. The weakness is only the starting point. The evolution is the story. Admission committee are interested in what triggered the realization, what steps did you take, what changed in your approach, what measurable improvements occurred. For example, did stakeholder feedback improve? Did team outcomes improve? Did efficiency improve? Demonstrating progress signals adaptability. Adaptability signals leadership readiness. And your narrative should move forward and not remain stuck in the past. Rule 6. Avoid red flags. There is an important distinction between vulnerability and risk, and some disclosures unintentionally create doubt about professional reliability. Avoid weaknesses that signal lack of discipline, poor judgment, inconsistent work ethic, ethical ambiguity. For example, statements that imply difficulty managing responsibility or structure can create unintended concerns. Instead, select weaknesses that demonstrate developmental potential, such as learning to delegate effectively, improving executional communication, developing structural thinking, strengthening quantitative comfort. These show growth potential without raising credibility concerns, and strategic positioning definitely matters. And the last rule. Take it easy. Many applicants spend excessive time searching for the perfect weaknesses, but perfection is not the objective, clarity is. Once you reflected honesty on your professional journey, patterns naturally emerge, moments where feedback shaped your development, moments where responsibility accelerated learning, moments where discomfort triggered growth. Your response should sound thoughtful and not manufactured. Natural responses build credibility, over engineered responses reduce authenticity. Remember, the best essays feel genuine and not theoretical. Let's look into the application readiness. Weakness essays are one component of a broader strategic narrative. Admission committees evaluate consistency across all materials. Your resume should reinforce your leadership progression. Your essays should reinforce your goals. Your recommendation should reinforce your impact. Consistency builds confidence and contradictions create doubt. Strong applications demonstrate coherence and each component strengthens that others. And this is what creates a compelling narrative. Also, before submitting your applications, evaluate the following. Do your recommender provide specific examples? Does your resume demonstrate progression? Do your essays flow logically? Is your career vision clear? Have you answered every question directly? Admission committees appreciate clarity and they do not reward unnecessary complexity. Precision signals preparedness, and preparedness signals professionalism, and professionalism signals readiness for business schools. These are the remaining checklist. Okay, moving on. Let's look into the additional essay components. Modern MBA applications increasingly include additional components. Optional essays allow candidates to explain abnormalities. Reapplicant essays allow candidates to demonstrate growth since previous attempts. Video essays evaluate executive presence and communicational clarity. Each component contributes to overall perception of your candidacy, and strong applicants prepare for all formats because communication is a leadership skill and the leadership is ultimately about influence, and influence begins with clarity. And I hope you got a better insight on this short webinar session that we had. Now, I would like to also brief you with respect to the commercial aspects of what we at LeapQuest charge you in case if you are seeking professional assistance for any of your colleges, be it your Dream, Reach or Save colleges, as we are currently helping with the fall 2027 intake and the Jan 2027 intake. We have launched a profile building planner. We have launched the 5 months planner that we have right now. It's already there on our YouTube channels. You can have a look into that. Now let us look into the commercial aspects. So we have packages from 1 to 8. So one school starts at 50 grand and the 8 schools is at 3 lakhs. Let's say you're looking at a combination of, colleges across US and Europe. 5 to 8 schools would be recommended with a combination of Dream, Reach and Save. And also if it's Europe and Asia or Asian colleges, 5 to 8 is recommended. Suppose if you're looking at only India, only Canada or only Singapore, as we at LeapQuest assist with the top 50 colleges FT rankings, you barely have 2 to 3 strong colleges from these regions. So up to 3 schools is recommended. Suppose you're a re-applicant and you would like to only stick to 1 or 2 colleges. Profile building is a must because we need to show to that college what changed in your application from the last time that you have applied. Specifically, if you just have 1 or 2 colleges, for these guys, we have the 1 or 2 schools packages. And yes, preparing a strong MBA applications requires structure and iteration, and top candidates rarely work in isolation. So getting feedback, refining narratives, optimizing positioning, all of that is included. Each LeapQuest applicant, regardless of what package you're taking, you will be supported by a structured team, a head consultant aligned with your goals, a quality assurance mentor providing additional perspectives, a special editor strengthening clarity and impact, and mock interviews designed to refine communication precision. Our process ensures consistency across all application components because strong applications are not accidental, they're engineered through iteration, feedback, and refinement. Additional to this, we also help you build your profile, not just work on your application components. Many applicants believe their profiles are either too conventional or too unconventional. But the reality is there is no perfect profile, only well-positioned profiles. Every candidate has strengths, every candidate has gaps. What differentiates successful applicants is narrative clarity. Your story should demonstrate intentional career progression, self-awareness, leadership potential, future impact. Storytelling connects past experiences with future goals, but it has to be a strong storytelling, and coherent narratives are memorable narratives. And yes, your MBA and MS journey is one of the most important strategic decisions in your career, and the right program can expand your opportunities globally. The right preparation can strengthen your confidence significantly, and the right narrative can differentiate your applications meaningfully. If you're considering applying in the upcoming rounds, we invite you to begin with a profile evaluation discussion, understand our positioning, identify your strengths, address your gaps strategically, because success in MBA admissions is rarely accidental. It is intentional, it is structured, and it is built thoughtfully. We look forward for being a part of your journey. You can reach out to us on our website at theleapquest.com, fill up the form, and we'll get in touch with you. Or you can drop in an email to info@theleapquest.com, or you can always call us on 93532 56447. Thank you for joining us today, guys. I hope you have an exceptional weekend.